go to Zoomy Lake. I didn't remember there being a cutscene here, and I actually only came here partly because there's some part of Green Meadows you haven't really gone to yet, but also because I've kind of wanted to take time to talk about something, and that's it. Nobody's really watching this Let's Play. Like, it's for the first, like, few hours of them being uploaded, the videos only get, like, 2 views, and then they get, like, 5 next day. I understand that I'm a small channel, but it just feels like none of my I haven't really, it just kind of, I've gotten used to having, like, one regular commenter on my Red Rescue Team Let's Play. But now it just, it just feels like no one's really paying attention to us. There is one thing that's motivating me to continue this Let's Play, but I'll reveal what it is during the credits of the game. But I don't want to feel like I'm just demanding that people view my videos, because I am aware that this is kind of territory, basically the whole reason why I wanted to, decided to Let's Play Red Rescue Team when I did it is because I wanted to do it before I moved on to more obscure games, so that I already had built up a viewer base. And I was kind of hoping this Let's Play for people to start reminiscing on this game when they watched it, but I haven't got anyone like that yet. Sort of. Hiya, have you ever touched a fish? I do love fish. And I'm also keep slightly worrying that, like, people think my Let's Play is really bad, even though I'm just starting out and obviously have room for improvement. Like, watch Chunk Conroy's old videos, I just can't get into them because they're a bit terrible, honestly. Like, I remember people going to complain, like, oh no, your voices are so annoying, oh no, you'll never be any better. I'm going to be a top fisher dog someday. I'll be as good as my master in no time. I'm just worried that I'll get one rude comment that will completely demotivate me from Let's Playing as well. But, so I really would appreciate input on this Let's Play. Oh, hello there, just so I know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and everything like that. Oh, you need some more, you need to eat more and get some meat, more meat on those bones. I'll get there eventually. And there's also a fishing dock here. I thought it was closer to the beach than it actually was, but okay then. It's been a long time since I played this game. I wonder what would happen if you decide to take the shortcut through Treely Woods to get to Zoomy Lake, because obviously that cutscene wouldn't play, but I was thinking that the game would force you to witness that cutscene of Dr. Potan walking. Once again, one of those really unnecessarily long cutscenes. I suppose it would just play a different cutscene. The cutscene that's probably going to play in Treely Woods anyway, but still. Also, you see that really curved, twisty tree back there? Remember it, it will be important for later. And there's also a fishing spot there, as well as an annoyingly placed bear. I think the reason why I thought the gorilla was a bear is because that bear was also quite annoying. I still don't know what a gorilla is doing in the middle of the woods though. And also kind of like this image here, it's very Animal Crossing-y, you're fishing, there's a bunch of flower, like grass and everything, and there's a yellow butterfly in the background. So I remember when in Animal Crossing, I think one of the first insects I ever caught was a yellow butterfly. I don't remember the specifics, it's been a long time because it's the most common one, and they call the cabbage white butterflies common butterflies because of reasons, I guess. I'm not really sure why there's just a random sheep here unattended. I suppose, and why the bear hasn't eaten it, if bears even eat sheep. They probably live far away from livestock, so they probably wouldn't be a problem for farmers, but still. And another thing I should notice that even though the music in this game is really good, there's not really much variety. Like, you'll be hearing this music a lot until, like, the latter half of the game when the environments become more varied, even though there's still not that much music there either. And I like how the squirrels don't even make a noise, they just kind of walk away. I also seriously don't get what the point of these cutscenes are, because we were already told that he was going to Zoomy Lake, and we've already seen what leads to Zoomy Lake because we were told about it earlier. I suppose it's just in case kids forget, but that's what the memo is for. I never realised how hand-holdy this game is. And once again, running like this with a pointer feels like your dog is skidding everywhere, and it's kind of fun to watch, I guess. looks like you gotta swim to go any further. You can swim by entering the water. Hold down B to move towards the cursor. That's so just like walking. Move the cursor further away to swim faster. You can bark, however, you cannot bark loudly because you'll gulp water. Yes, imagine swimming with pointer controls. It's actually really annoying, especially considering that the enemies here are crocodiles and there are kiwis here. Are we in Australia now? Where is this place supposed to be? Is this world anything like our own? I don't know. Why am I asking all these questions? Oh, that was quite a cute noise. And once again, the Wii remote's going a bit crazy, so... Oh, that ladybird's kind of cute, though, even though it looks absolutely really hard to see on this resolution. And by the way, how many, Wii S2 games, as I like to call them, are there? Because, in the early, 2007, there were a lot of games released on the Wii and PS2. There was this, there was Sonic Unleashed, and The Legend of Spyro, The Eternal Night. So that thing. Also, funny story, I used to think The Eternal Night was the third Legend of Spyro game, so the second, because I read somewhere that the fact that the planet had 2 moons was an important part of the plot of the third game, and I thought that, oh, it's The Eternal Night, so that involves the moons, but it didn't. And here is an apple, which does look like one I've seen in real life. Granny Smith, which is my favourite flavour of apple, by the way, but it also has a bit of yellow on it still. And there's a random snake here. I've got to wonder if there's anything hidden up here. By the way, are the enemies here crocodiles or alligators? Because I always forget how you're supposed to tell them apart. I'm going to call them crocodigators then. Watermelon. How fitting because we're near water, but where are watermelons grown? Or rather, where do wild watermelons come from? What conditions do you have to grow them in? Are there any farmers, agriculture experts here? Anyway, swimming. I don't think we can swim into out of boundsy type water like the water just from the sea that we were just at next in Green Meadows. That's it. I want to call it Green Fields at the moment. And they've also made me think of Daisy Meadows, a pseudonym author person thing for Rainbow Magic, if anyone remembers that. Book series about fairies. I used to get loads of them, but I got bored of them eventually. And speaking of which, I swear there was a Rainbow Magic book where basically there was a contest to get yourself into a book, and then it turned out that this girl meets, and then basically the winner basically ended up being in a book and got to rescue the main characters. But I looked through it years ago. I was looking for my Rainbow Magic books to find it, and I just couldn't remember it. So if anyone here read Rainbow Magic when they were little, and once again there's a flower which is the same species as one of the key item flowers, please let me know which one that was. And I just fell into water. And why are there green kiwis? Are they not supposed to be kiwis at all? The rest is supposed to be something else. Because kiwis don't live by lakes. I'm not an expert, I just know that because they don't look like they would. That's still cute though. That reminds me, Ivy the Kiwi, I got that game last week and it is really annoying and kind of boring to be honest, because everywhere kind of looks the same. The enemies don't get introduced until the 4th world. There's barely any mechanics and the music is kind of It feels like a launch title, but it came out in 2011. But at least the art style is cute, I guess. And to put that into perspective, when I think of DS games that were released in 2011, the first one that comes to mind is Solitary by Red the Hunter, which, while also not looking and sounding great, is a lot more ambitious than an early release DS game because it's an action RPG thing. And there's also Okamiden, which the copyright page only says it, the copyright on the title screen says it came out in 2010, but I swear it came out in 2011 in Europe because Fish Nintendo magazine reviewed it in the same issue as Pokemon Black and White and Day Blob 2. I just didn't notice how fast the fastest swimming speed actually is. I wonder if the crocodiles can hurt you, or the crocodigators, sorry, can hurt you while you're on land. Oh, here's the steps. I forgot I was supposed to get onto this island. Anyway, I'm going to keep quiet for a bit. Indigo, is that you? Please, could you give me a second? What are you doing here? Oh, I get it. Someone sent you to find me, am I right? I wouldn't be surprised because I sneak out quite often. Are you wondering what this is? Okay. Maybe it's time I tell someone about this. This is my best friend's grave. She died on this very day, a long time ago, of course. Back when I was young, my best friend was sick with a disease that couldn't be cured. I tried everything I could, but she never got better, and instead she got worse every day. One day, Obaba came by and told me that my treatment would never cure her and only make her worse. I was too young and foolish, so I didn't listen to Obaba. Eventually, I lost my best friend. I'm a fool for letting stupid pride get in the way. The most important thing is not how you treat, and not who treats whom. The most important thing is to save patients any way you can. But it's too late for what I lost. Nothing will change that. Nothing. I still dream about her sometimes. She stares at me sadly. I always thought she was blaming me for not curing her and for what I did. But recently, I started to think. Maybe she looks sad because, instead of looking forward, I keep living in the past and I live in sadness every day. Maybe she feels pity for me. I really feel that way. Especially when I see a young girl like you, risking your life to save your family. I should probably move on with my life. Could you give me a moment to be alone? Did you find the doctor? Oh my, I didn't know. Is that so? Well, thank you for telling me. By the way, someone with a strange round hat was looking for you. He wanted to know where you are and what you are doing. He kept calling himself the Great One, and he was pretty bossy. He headed towards the Green Meadows after he asked me about you. Hey, maybe it's Yi Lu. When I said that I was going to keep quiet, I meant that I wasn't going to say anything other than reading out the text. And speaking of which, I was watching the last episode of Chugacron Roy's Phantom Hourglass Let's Play last night. And I kind of noticed that all of his voices for the important characters aren't that different from his regular talking voice. So, for example, like, his Ciela and Linebeck voices don't actually sound that different, but you can tell that one's supposed to be male and one's supposed to be female, if that makes any sense. Same for quite a lot of his Let's Plays and text-heavy games. Because I think that, like, the best voice I've given to anyone in this Let's Play is Dr. Potan, because it's actually one that I can take seriously. And Yi Lu has now turned into Red from Pokemon. Oh, so you do not need my assistance anymore because you know how to sniff? Is that it? If that's the case, I will not raise your level any further. Oh, okay. I'll let you off the hook this time, okay? If you think you can sniff a little here and there, you haven't seen half of it. Okay then, let us go back to the training once again. You must purchase the Ring Fragment 2 at the Zoomy Lake. The Ring Fragment 2 should smell like this. Be careful out there. This cutscene made me worry for a moment that there's only a finite number of times you can level up in this game because I always forget to talk to the masters. You have gone up a level. And going up a level just increases your health, and I think that's why I've never increased my health to the full potential, because I forgot to talk to the masters. For the next level, you must learn 14 more smells. By the way, you have not finished the previous task, no? You're not going anywhere till you take care of it. Next task, we've gone over this already. By the way, if you don't want to talk to the masters because you're far away from them, you can just see how many cents you need to learn to level up from the starter screen. And also, I don't get what that random dog icon is supposed to represent. It looks like it's going to be filled in with something, but it isn't. I don't know. The dog head, not the dash hand looking one. By the way, there are 4 key items in the game that appear on the starter screen, but I've only ever managed to find 3 of them. And I've got to wonder what this one I forgot was. And I've beaten the game before, by the way. And also, I was looking, before this Let's Play started, before I started recording this episode, I got a bit bored and started looking at the save data screen. And I just kind of remembered that I kind of regret transferring all the data from my old Wii to my Wii U, because I barely ever play Wii games on it, and it's usually when we play games as a family, it's always on the original Wii anyway, so we have to recreate everything. Because I thought, oh, my Wii U replaced the Wii, now it just lives in my bedroom. It used to live downstairs, but that was years ago. Anyway, we need to go find a ring fragment 2. I don't know why it's not ring fragment 3 and why we didn't do these in order, but oh well. As I said, there is a lot of back and forthing in this game. I also kind of liked how I coincidentally ended up with the cutscene for Dr. Potan's backstory at night, because I could just picture the sun rising, and I thought it actually was going to rise several times during that cutscene. And these are scent trails. They're exactly like the blue scents, but different because they have a gimmick to them, I guess. And also, all this talk about scents is reminding me of this book called Perfume that we have to read in English. Quite famous, you might have heard of it, or maybe you haven't, because I'm not that well versed in classical literature that isn't like Shakespeare or something. Wait, do plays count as literature? Because you do plays in the English language as if they were books. Like A Doll's House, for example, because currently in English literature, not languages, that's what I'm doing. We're doing about works in translation. And we're doing about a Norwegian play called A Doll's House, which is really famous, but I'd never actually heard of it before. Oops. And here's a crocodile. Once again, barks don't work sideways, even though they should, because that's just how sounds work. And they also don't affect... Oh, and... So they not affect enemies in the water or something? I don't know. So do you have to be in water in order to bark at an enemy in the water and have it register or something? That's a question. I'm going to test that if I can. There's a hippo. We can't do anything about that yet. Can't just jump over, it's too far. And it doesn't look like we can get over there from within the lake. Hey, did you find something? That's a tree stump, you don't say. Let's go over there and check it out. Are these pieces of vegetables? And look at these footsteps. Whose are these? Oh wait, it's a hippo's, you don't say. Then it must be where that hippo likes to eat. Hey, I have a great idea. If we place some food that the hippo likes to eat on this tree stump, maybe it will come over here to eat it. And we can use its back to jump over to the other side. How about it? Okay then, let's do it. Why don't you sniff that tree stump? You sniffed around. You memorised the smell of the hippo's food, which we should be able to find over there. Is that supposed to... Wait, I didn't know you could smell in the water. Well, I forgot that you could smell in the water either, because I played this game before. And it looks like asparagus. I was thinking it would be a yam or a sweet potato or whatever you want to call it, but that's something later on in the game, so... Once again, a back and forthing, because it's taking us to the other side of Zoomy Lake into a place we've already been. Probably. I like that waterfall though, even if it is clipping at the side. Oops. Well, clipping I mean it's not like the water. This side of it doesn't directly flow into the rest of the water. It's not clipping. It's just weirdly modelled. At least I think this is asparagus. I'm not actually... No, it's not asparagus, is it? What is it? Spinach. I'm not... Once again, I'm not an expert on this. And now we can cross. By the way, why is Moto from Madagascar 2 a meme all of a sudden? It seems like that meme's a new B movie, except I don't see it everywhere. And I'm actually surprised the Shrek meme has lasted this long. But also, like, apparently, I was asking about this on Pokemon Showdown once, or specifically in the lobby chat, because that's the only chat room I ever go in. And someone said that, like, oh, movies just become memes after a while. Does that mean that Cars 2 is going to become a meme soon? Because I wanted to make that into a meme at one point, and then I realised that the movie wasn't actually that ironically funny, so... Yay. Once again, my days of being the Cars apologist are long over. It just happens, people lose interest in things. And now we've got 1/4 of a polo. I almost said a polio, that would be a bit concerning. By the way, I just wanted to comment on how... Did anyone else notice that those white flowers in the cutscene with Dr. Potan were glitching? I didn't want to comment on that because it would ruin the moment, but still. And the texture on the grave was really low resolution as well. Not like the lowest resolution I've seen. Like, I remember in like the one part of Spirit Tracks in the snow realm, there's just like really... Like, in like certain parts of Spirit Tracks overworld, there's just like these really big parts of geometry with a really low resolution texture smeared all over them. Like, there's specifically one part in the snow realm near the edge of it, but there's some other examples of it in the game as well. But still. And once again, watching Chicago Rose Phantom Hourglass Let's Play reminds me of how much I regret spoiling Spirit Tracks myself because I was too nervous to play Zelda game in 2011 for some reason. I need to get over it because I can never because when I spoil something for myself, I find it harder to actually be surprised by it because I just end up I went to the wrong place. Whoops. Because I just end up like not just like when I learn about something as it is, I don't really form my opinions on it. I just think in like an objective manner that is. I think that was a thing that happened. I just sometimes feel like I can't really get obsessed with something unless I see other fans of something, which is why I thought I couldn't get into The Last Wild, and then I realised that the protagonist of that is just a plank of wood. The Last Wild is a book series about a kid who gets kidnapped by a bunch of pigeons and is told to save the world by a deer because he can talk to animals. And he soon meets a far more interesting female character who actually has agency. So, you are beginning to figure out what sniffing is all about, yes. Perhaps you are beginning to wonder if there's any point to all this. No? I bet that was what you were thinking, yes? I did too. But that's the point. Learning sniffing is like trying to reach the top of the highest mountain. If this is enough to defeat you, you will never learn the superpowers of sniffing. But still, you must be beat. I'll give you some time to rest up. The next task isn't ready yet, anyway. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Something smells. No. It is coming from the village. Something is happening in the village. Nothing will scare me, but... You go have a look and I'll watch you from over here just in case anything bad happens. Something's wrong here. I don't see any of the usual folks around here. Hey, let's give it a little sniffing. Indigo sniffed around. The village smells like it is filled with sick dogs. Something happened here, definitely. Let's ask Potan. He might know what's going on around here. Luckily, Mr. Postman is here because it would kind of suck if you couldn't save. read this letter before I end the episode. Just because I can. Just because it's here right now. Dear Indigo, how are you doing? It's sunny over here. I spent all day in bed. I feel a bit tired. I want to get better so I can play with you again. Talk to you later. How fitting considering that the village is currently sick here. Next time on my extremely riveting Let's Play of the Dog Island, we shall be asking Dr. Potan what has happened in the village. Until next time, stay interesting!